It's been a while, TTS Daily with me, Yi, and finally, this is Wednesday edition. I know, it's been almost a whole week. Where have we been? Well, expanding is tough, moving is tough, but we'll get there soon, and thank you for bearing with us. So now, let's kick things off. Shocking news came out of Japan last week when a woman in Tokyo's Kabukicho's district was allegedly forced into being a street by both her manager and co-worker. She was also tracked by GPS and was subject to social for months. So the suspects are Maoya Suzuki 39, a manager of a girls' bar, and her co-worker Kazuya Tano, 21 years old, a female employee. The victim was a staff member in her 20s who started working in the bar since 2024. And between May to July 2025, the victim was allegedly forced to engage in the entertainment industry by being a street in the Okubo Park area. The suspects used a GPS tracking device to monitor the victim's movement, and the victim was also forced to sleep in the club's back room during the same period as she has lost the lease to her apartment. And allegedly, the victim served up to 400 customers over this 3 months period. That is an average of 4 to 5 customers per day. One source alleged that the victim served up to 13 customers in a day. The victim earned about 6 million yen, which most of it she was forced to hand over to her manager Suzuki. And the victim allegedly only received occasionally 3,000 yen periodically for food expenses and was still required to submit receipts. This incident only came to light after the victim was arrested in July 2025 on suspicion of violating the anti-pro to the tuition law. And during questioning, she explained that she was so physically and mentally exhausted and she lacked the strength to even escape, and she said that she wasn't even being treated like a human being. Now the suspects, the co-worker Kazuya Tano, has admitted to the charges, saying she monitored the GPS location and accompanied Suzuki, the manager, to monitor for street f***ers. And while Suzuki, the 39-year-old manager, denied the allegations, claiming he neither forced the victim into work nor confinement. There's also alleged incidents here that once that Suzuki actually repeatedly yelled at the victim for poor sales and even struck her with a champagne bottle. And the suspects also found the victim taking a break, so they actually struck out at her for doing so. Police have reported that the victim's body had over 20 bruises, suggesting continuous social towards the victim. We're back in Singapore right now, and as you know, we barely feature any traffic incidents unless there's great social context, such as this video, which I'm pretty sure this isn't safe at all. This footage shared on Facebook group SGRV has gone viral that showed 2 children sitting on the trunk of a Porsche or Porsche, not sure how to pronounce it even, holding onto the rear wing, and the car was seen moving, and the woman believed to be their parent was seen nearby recording the scene. This happened outside an apartment on Dairy Farm Walk, Bukit Panjang, Singapore on October 20th, 10:40 AM. So once again, the Porsche was seen driving slowly along the road with the 2 children perched onto the rear trunk, holding onto the rear wing. This incident has gone viral. Netizens are criticizing the parents for doing so, endangering the children's life, and urging authorities to step in and take necessary action. We will let you know more when we know more. A former elementary school teacher in Daejeon, South Korea has been sentenced to life imprisonment for the unaliving of an 8-year-old student. The court found 48-year-old Myung Jae-won guilty of luring and unaliving the child inside the school, calling her actions a betrayal of duty. This just happened on October 20th, 2025 at the Daejeon District Court, South Korea, where the suspect is Myung Jae-won, 48 years old, former elementary school teacher, and the victim is Kim Ha-nyul, 8 years old. The incident happened on February 10, 2025, around 5 PM, when Myung lured the victim Kim by saying she would give Kim a book and unalive Kim in an audiovisual room using a pre-prepared weapon. Kim, the victim, was reported missing when a bus driver noted that she was nowhere to be found when it was time to be picked up. The victim was found later that day along with Myung. Days before the incident, Myung had also destroyed school property and also assaulted a colleague by putting a colleague into a headlock. Myung told police that she had brought a weapon on the day of the attack and brought it into school, planning to unalive herself along with a random child. Myung has been charged with in violations of the Act on the Aggravated Punishment of Specified Crimes, and she has been sentenced to life imprisonment with 30 years of electronic monitoring, while prosecutors actually demanded the capital punishment for her. The court said the defendant betrayed her duty to protect children and calling the case unprecedented. It also rejected the claim of diminished mental capacity, noting her deliberate planning and actions to avoid detection. The court ruled that permanent isolation from society was necessary, but the capital punishment was not justified. The victim's family now plans to appeal, criticizing the life sentence as it allows for parole. Prosecutors stated that Myong committed a crime due to a combination of anger, family disputes, and also upset because she was rushed back to work when she requested a 6 months leave of absence, citing depression, but returned to school 20 days later after a doctor assessed her as being fit for work. This crime has been described by prosecutors as an act driven by abnormal motives. Our thoughts, prayers and condolences to the victim Kim Ha-neul and her loved ones and her family. So Myanmar's military just raided and shut down KK Park, a major cybercrime scam center located on the outskirts of Myawaddy in Kayin State near the Thai border, as part of operations starting in early September 2025 to suppress online fraud, illegal and cross-border cyber crime. Take note, both Myanmar and Thailand has been under pressure because of large scam compounds nearing the border, and Myanmar is also known for hosting such cyber scam operations that use romantic ploys and fake investment scams to defraud victims worldwide. And these workers are often recruited under false job promises, and they are also forced into captivity and forced to do these criminal activities while being captive. This operation was reported in Myanmar state media on October 20th, 2025 with photos showing seized Starlink devices and soldiers conducting the raid. Authorities seized equipment which included 30 Starlink satellite internet terminals from over 260 unregistered buildings at the site itself. So this KK Park is like a huge compound comprising of hundreds of buildings. The raid also resulted in the detention of 2,198 individuals, though their nationalities were not specified. Hopefully, many of them will get to return home after this. As we have mentioned, many of them are being held captive against their will to do cyber crimes. So this mother in Shanghai, China was trying to get a refund after her child actually accidentally spent over 500 yuan buying toy playing cards online. So she had a chat with the online seller, and the online seller actually sent her this notice called the Children's Refund Notice, or when children make unauthorized purchases, what should parents do in order to apply or to process refund. And there are actually 4 items in the refund notice, and he was actually enforcing item number 3, which actually requested the parent, the mother, to film a video of herself pyaking her child on the face 5 minutes furiously, continuously, with the audio audibly loud enough to hear the pyak pyak sound, and then refund will be processed. Obviously, the mother was shocked, thinking how could this even be a thing. And if you were to see the seller's profile, he also mentioned the refund notice there as one of the criteria is to show a video of the parent pyaking the child, and at least swelling has to be seen on the surface area of at least 5 mm swelling. So looks like this seller isn't exactly joking, as he even mentioned in the chat logs here, as you can see. So if you want to process refund, you got to do as followed in the refund notice. The mother of this 11-year-old girl then asked customer service on the Qiantao platform, like, could you please help me process refund? Which customer service say, I'm sorry, this is a dispute between seller and buyer. You two have to come to terms yourself, and only the seller can agree to a refund. Now this story has totally gone viral because people are shocked that, is this child refund notice even a real thing? Now Qiantao has come out with an official statement saying that, number 1, this child refund policy notice is actually a popular meme on the interwebs, okay? And it is definitely not official Qiantao policy. And as for the purchase itself, Qiantao also clarified that the child did not purchase the item using Qiantao's flash sale feature. So it is possible that they had a chat via that platform, but payment could have taken off platform, which is usually happens quite often, because people sometimes want to avoid paying fees for cheaper prices. So not really sure over this right here. But most importantly, netizens are furious that this seller actually wants the buyer to commit domestic violence to the lens to her child just to process a refund. What do you think? More noise disputes in Singapore, this time coming from Sembawang Block 470. So there is Mr. A and Mr. D. So Mr. A have been upset with Mr. D because Mr. D frequently makes a lot of noises by slamming the doors mainly. Wait, Mr. D? Yes, there will be a B and C later, we'll get to that very soon. So Mr. A has been upset with Mr. D because Mr. D apparently makes loud noises by slamming doors too often, perhaps. On October 12, 2025, around 5 PM when Mr. A was coming home, suddenly he heard another loud slamming door noise. It was his neighbor, Mr. D, once again. So he went over to Mr. D's place and tell Mr. D, yo, can you don't slam the door always? But Mr. D responded by exactly slamming the door once again. Mr. A then tell Mr. D, I think the neighbors have had it enough with you, I'm not the only one that's concerned with the amount of noise you're making. To which Mr. D then replied weirdly, so I can't even pull a table? So probably he's just trying to say that the noise that Mr. D might have made is probably just caused by him, maybe possibly just gently arranging furniture such as a table. So now Mr. A wants to cool down, not wanting to argue with Mr. D anymore, so he went down, to cool down. Well, then he received a call from his children, probably saying, Daddy, I think Mr. D is at our doorstep. So Mr. A hurried back home, and at this point, Mr. B, who is Mr. A's downstairs neighbor, went up to, to check what is going on at Mr. A's side. And somehow now, Mr. B, who wanted to mediate things, got into a heated argument with Mr. D because now, Mr. D accuses Mr. B of using the drill at night, causing Mr. D to lose sleep. Remember, originally this was about Mr. A and Mr. D, but now Mr. D is unhappy with Mr. B. So this argument, was pretty heated until they almost came to blows. So much that the police had to be called to come over to mediate over the whole situation now. Now, reporters also found Miss C, who claimed that she got into a dispute with Mr. D too also, and 3 years ago, according to these pictures, her windows was actually smashed by Mr. D. Now, Mr. A, Mr. B, and Miss C has both sought help from the district councillors over this so-called noise dispute, and the PAP naval-based branch have stated that they are aware of this incident and they are working with relevant agencies to mediate a noise dispute among the neighbours. So what happens next if this mediation does not go well? Ken Lim, 61-year-old music producer, Ken Lim asked the victim to him. After the first he requested a more passionate one, and Ken Lim asked the victim if she would perform act on the director as a test of performance.